Well, a very good evening and welcome to live coverage of the fifth and final round of this year's BUKC iRACING Trophy, the championship decider in all respects, all aspects of the competition still up for grabs. Myself, Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell in the virtual DDMM comms box are ready for 2 hours of great racing here at Virginia International Raceway. Howard, a new circuit for us in this field, but one that, well, as sports cars fans, both of us being familiar from the IMSA series and also I think a Top Gear episode back in the day also did a feature around this circuit. It's something a little bit different for the drivers.
Yeah, it certainly is. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Absolutely it is, mate, and I think it's going to be a real challenge in these Formula Ford cars that we're racing tonight. You've really got to dance the car through certain sections of this lap. There are some heavy braking zones as well for that sort of, you know, Tilker-esque overtaking opportunity. Not that the circuit is a Tilker design, but at other parts of the lap, you've got to really sort of dance the car through. Anyone who's a big fan of Maggots or Beckett's at Silverstone will see that kind of DNA in this track layout, if you like. It really is going to be quite a challenge at some parts of the lap for the drivers to hang on to the cars. And I think a lot of drivers haven't raced this circuit much before, haven't done this car and track combination, as you say, mate. It's one you and I are familiar with from sports cars. But this could be this is definitely an interesting place to do the championship decider. And yeah, it could be interesting. Hasn't been, well, VIR itself made free on the iRacing service. Oh, again, I'm showing poor iRacing memory. Some point early 23, or maybe it was actually 2022. So it's had a few seasons on the service, but nonetheless, possibly not one that they'll have driven as frequently as elsewhere that we've visited. But it's a really, really good track. It's a really challenging track. This car has not let us down for great track action this season. And there's championships on the line, so I'm really looking forward to it, mate. This one should be good.
Apologies for the technical issues there. Discord's having one of those nights, and it's also affecting other bits of my brain. But never mind. Hopefully that's the last little wobble of that so far tonight. Let's have a look at the championship scores, the all-important championship scores at this stage of the season, and really is a case of everything is up for grabs. Sam Sanders sits in the best position of all, first at the moment, 513 points. Henry Mackenzie Friedman sits second on 498. Here's the simple side of the story. If those two drivers hold those positions, they will be the recipients of the two free entry places into the Club 100 iRacing Championship later in the year. Sanders for winning overall, Mackenzie Friedman for being the top newcomer. Trying to stop them in that regard, Ross Steele is third on 495. James de Havilland is fourth, with a mathematical shot of winning not only the newcomer award, but also being the top intermediate driver there on 476. And there's also a point scenario where he could win overall as well. Matthew Graham still mathematically in the picture also for the overall win on 438. David Whitehouse sixth, can't win overall, but could overhaul de Havilland's 476 depending on results tonight. Murray Adams sits top of the clubman entries. It's 3 clubmans left. They'll all get some form of iRacing dollars. It's just a question of how much. Adams leads in clubman at the moment on 417, but look out for George Palozzi on 391 and Lawrence Fines as well on 338, who has missed a round. So he's a little bit further back in the points, but could still overhaul potentially those higher up. Josh Ladd has a very interesting situation. I think I'm right in saying he is present tonight. Yes, I have seen him in the lobby. Can mathematically win the championship, but only as long as Sam Sanders, Henry Mackenzie Friedman, Ross Steele, all the ones above them, don't complete one lap of one race tonight, because the 20 bonus points comes into play tonight as well. Every driver who has done at least one racing lap of one race in each round, on each race night effectively, gets an extra 20 points for thanks for their commitment and attendance to the whole series. That cannot be the case for Josh Ladd, because Josh Ladd missed round 3. So whilst not mathematically out of the championship, in all likelihood, Josh is, and that would even be if he won all the races tonight, but could be a big factor in terms of deciding what happens ahead of him, of course. Josh Ladd looking very quick once again. Who else do we need to look out for? Sam Dimolo's got an opportunity to win some iRacing dollars in intermediate. Alavo Castro likewise leads at the moment in rookie, has been an all-race attender so far this year. So we'll be looking to improve on the scores that he's got from earlier in the season, trying to chase him down, the likes of Matthew Shawnee, Eric Mignon, John Adey and Antonio Gitsonio. Remember, from all the 15 races that will be completed by the time we get to the end of tonight, it's the best 11 scores across the whole season that make the tally for an individual driver's score. I think I've covered everything there, Howard, in the complexities of tonight. But it's going to be a good one, I think, for racing as well. This circuit does lend itself to the characteristics of slipstream battles that we've seen in other circuits that we've had so far this season.
Yes, indeed. I think it is going to prove a good place for racing. And I think that's why it's such a nice choice for the end of the season. It's a challenge that also provides good racing. Think of it like a Spa-Francorchamps, if you're unfamiliar. Not that it's exactly like that track, but we've got a genuine driving challenge which also tends to generate great racing.
Right, well, we're not long away from the start of timed qualifying. For all the drivers, it's the same story as always. As the time ticks to 7:30. Oh, Eric Mignon just made it in, so it's 23 drivers for us here tonight. I'd had a notification that the second fastest Belgian in Club 100 was trying to get home as fast but legally as possible. He has managed to register ahead of lone qualifying, and that's good to see that we've got a full complement of drivers on the grid. If you're new to this format, it's pretty simple but a bit quirky at the same time. Everyone, we like to say, is in their own bubble iRacing universe. Everybody has 10 minutes to complete 3 flying laps, and fastest time gets pole position for race number 1, but because they're all in their own bubble little universe, there's no complaints about traffic, no trying to take advantage of slipstreams, which I think around this place we're quite glad that it's lone qualifying, because you'd imagine everybody trying to stack up and get the biggest slipstream down that long back straight here at Virginia International Raceway. It would be quite tricky. Now, there is one other feature of this circuit that I'm going to mention, though, Howard. It is the longest lap that we have of the year, typically around a 2-minute full-pace lap. So whilst there's plenty of opportunity for the drivers to get their tyres up to temperature with that course length, an outlap plus 3 fast laps is only leaving them a couple of minutes to spare. So they've kind of got to get on with this to make sure that they can get all 3 of those fast laps in, because of course once we hit the end of 10 minutes, it's no case of like Formula 1 or complete the lap you're on. That's it. The window shuts and we move on to racing.
Certainly, yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And how do they play this with a tyre warm-up, Andrew? Because we've often seen people sacrificing a lap, haven't we, this season with regards to tyre warm-up. Do you take that chance? Because if you have a problem, you've not got as much time to play with, basically. So this could be an interesting one.
Could indeed. This is Logan McAllister that we're looking at right now. Had a good race on Sunday. It's part of the first round of the new Junior Experience Championship, getting a bit more track time there at Wilton Mill. Was second in the super lightweight category. It was good to be trackside for that, and thankfully it was a fairly quiet day, not having to make too many radio calls for discretions out there on the circuit. Some good driving from the juniors. On board now with Sam Sanders, championship leader. Howard, how much do you think Sam will be thinking ahead of tonight? This is a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, definitely a good opportunity for him here. How is he feeling though around this Virginia International Raceway circuit? Just got through NASCAR Bend there, and then he'll go dancing. As this is what I mean about dancing the car, and we'll see this as the lap goes on. This section is called the Snake, as you sort of wind your way out and unravel this, and then this high-speed run up towards the maggotsy Beckett's bit, as many might like to think of it. But the key thing here, Andrew, is that you can do this bit flat in this Formula Ford car. You've just got to be bold, and then this quick blip of the brakes through this left-hander really on the limit here with the car, and then heavy braking here into this difficult corner. You want to get the apex late to maximise your run onto what is a very long straight.
It is indeed. It's not too dissimilar to Road Atlanta with this long back straight now, which is very much going to come into play when we're racing. Right now, though, for Sam Sanders, looking for another strong, doesn't necessarily need pole position, doesn't necessarily need to win races tonight, although it would be very useful for securing his position at the top of the standings to try and win the BUKC iRacing trophy and automatically qualify straight through into the Club 100 iRacing Championship later on in 2024. Down through bomb hole now for the final time on this particular lap. No, well, by the looks of it, no trying to save or get a bit more tyre temperature into the rubber for Sam Sanders. He's gone straight out there to set a quick lap. What is that lap going to be? Coming over the line, well, a 2 minute 0.58 for Matthew Graham, 2 minutes 0.93 for Sam Sanders. Ross Deal goes to the top of the timesheets with a 2 minute 0.434. I think all eyes have got to be on Henry Mackenzie Friedman. What has Henry Mackenzie Friedman done so far on this lap? He's been a real, well, visionary in a way of setting up these FF1600s for these qualifying laps. And I think he's gone for the same strat again of taking the first lap to get a bit more heat in the tyres and attack on laps 2 and 3, because that was only a 2 minute 10.1.
Yeah, easing his way into this one, isn't he? Gradually building, and but that does put a certain amount of pressure on this lap, albeit we are allowing them, it is the 3 laps in the BUKC iRacing trophy that are allowed in the qualifying. Nevertheless, certain amount of pressure here because time is of the essence given the length of this lap.
Is indeed. Josh Ladd's gone over the line. He's gone to 6th place. Nathan Maximan in tonight. Now, Nathan cannot mathematically get involved in the intermediates discussion because he's only done 1 round. So 3 races so far this year. But great to see Nathan Maximan back. And immediately on the pace has gone P4 overall. First of the intermediates. Quick reminder of the classes. The top drivers with a proven record both in public iRacing lobbies and in the Club 100 Sim Racing Championships. There are your premiers with the red numbers on the left-hand side of your screen. So Deal, Graham, Sanders and Ladd, all examples of that. The clubmans, typically drivers who've either had good public iRacing pace but not much experience in Club 100 Sim Racing, or the other way round, slightly lower I ratings but proven performance within Club 100 Sim Racing formats. They are your clubmans, Vines, Adams and Palozzi racing for the title there in that one, as there's a new fastest lap of the session so far. That's Ross Deal's gone and taken it immediately from Matthew Graham with a 2 minute 0.215. Intermediates, again, a little bit lower down. Drivers who've maybe just picked up iRacing, had some good early starts with it, but not got a proven record in Club 100 Sim Racing Championship action.
There we go.
Friedman's just gone to the top of the order with a 2 minute 0.069. So they are your intermediates, and then your rookies, completely brand new to everything, iRacing in the public sense, and also Club 100 Sim Racing. Those are the ones with the black number boards. Here we're having a look at Olavo Castro, leader in the championship in rookie at the moment, and that's a good time. 2 minutes 1.419 seconds elevates Castro up to 11th place overall.
Yeah, really good lap time there from Castro. What can Matthew Shawnee do? Also one of our key players. That's a brilliant lap.
Whoa.
A 2 minute 0.78 takes him up into the top 10, up into 7th place. That's a massive statement of intent within that rookie class.
Yeah, and Matthew Shawnee, who is one of the contenders, could overhaul Castro's points tally at the moment. Well, a good qualifying is a good way to set things straight in the early stages, because the results from this time qualifying session will set the grid for race number 1.
We're going to have another final salvo of times here from the likes of Matthew Graham, Ross Deal. This is Sam Sanders, your championship leader, coming into tonight. And then some way behind them, because he took it easy on that first timed lap, Henry Friedman will be probably the last of the premiers to cross the line.
Here we go then. Sam Sanders across the line for the third flying lap. Can he move up from fourth place? The answer, well, it's a better time, but it doesn't move him further up the order. 2 minutes 0.290 as Ross Deal takes pole position. 1 minute 59.954, breaks the 2 minute barrier, goes to pole position. What can Henry Mackenzie Friedman do in the number 55? Can he beat that and retake pole position across the line? He can! 1 minute 59.8. What a lap time from Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Pole position for race number 1. Apologies there, Howard's having a few technical issues once again. Howard, are you back with us? Has the lap time from Henry Mackenzie Friedman completely blown your mic up, by the sounds of it?
As
apologies, there's problems there at DDMM Outpost. We'll try and get those fixed shortly. But for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, is fighting from the back slightly. Remember, his season didn't start all that well. P16 in the very first race of the season, but then replied with a second and a win later on that first night. Has already got that 16th out of his counting tally and did not start or did not complete one flying lap earlier on in the season. That is going to put Sam Sanders under a fair bit of pressure early on. He's going to need to move up from fourth place. Remember, at the moment, the gap between them is 15 points. But for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, he'll be wanting to try and take as many of those 15 points back in this first race of the evening. Hopefully Howard is back with us. We'll just go through the grid first hand. Henry Mackenzie Friedman then starts on pole position. Ross Deal alongside on the front row. Matthew Graham and Sam Sanders on row 2. James de Havilland pole position in the intermediates class again. Starts alongside the pole sitter for the clubman class, George Palozzi. That's row 3. Josh Ladd and Logan McAllister start on row 4. Brilliant qualifyings from the Carrots. John Adey pole position in rookie again on with just about a second off the pace of the pole sitter, and is joined by Matthew Shawnee on that 5th row of the grid. Lawrence Vines and Nathan Maximan start on row number 6. And then moving further down the order, Alavo Castro and David Whitehouse will start on row 7. David Whitehouse looking to secure a really strong finish in the team standings with this evening's racing. Murray Adams work to do, hasn't had much practice around this Virginia International Raceway layout. Starts 15th and is joined by Antonio Gitsonio, James Fremont and Sam Dimolo on row 9, Simon Delamere and Matt Hale on row 10, Adrian Goodwin and Tom Holland on row 11, Eric Mignon on his own there on row 12, completes a 23 car field. Hopefully Howard is back with us. Has Discord decided to play ball? Maybe? I think he's doing his small man in a box impression again. But long parade lap for the drivers to get everything up to temperature. Keep your comments coming in. Good evening to Steve Hicks. Not racing tonight because he's on work duties, but also has a bit of a non-raceable tummy. We'll go with that if you're having your tea at 7:45 here on a Wednesday night. Palozzi could make Clubman's exciting with a good race 1 here. Solid quality indeed. The gap between those two right now, I keep moving one of them out and it's not even connected as the parade lap does begin. Murray Adams' lead over Palozzi at the moment is a fairly healthy 40 points. No, it's not. It's quick maths, 26 points. But you're right there, Steve. This could swing things back in the advantage of Palozzi. Remember, the points system for each individual race is thus: if you get a race win, 50 points. Second, 47. Third, 45. And then it's a point less for each position down through the field. And it's the best 11 scores from 15 races at the end of the season that count. So for anyone who's completed every single race, all 12 of them, their worst score has already been dropped, which if you're Murray Adams is a 23rd place back at round 2. He's got a couple of 21st places to clear as well. If you're George Palozzi, it's a 26th place that is next to be cleared. So yeah, expect both of those drivers to be pushing on here. They are effectively counting from next to 0 in those points. On board here with, I think this is going to be David Whitehouse, isn't it? Going round. Howard, are you back with us whilst we're going on this formation lap? No, I can see his little green circle on Discord, but technology's not playing ball right now. We'll try and get him back as soon as possible. We know he's still there for making all the camera cuts, of course. Yes, we are on board with David Whitehouse, starting from 14th on the grid. Just ahead of us there is the 2-3-1 of Nathan Maximan, who has nothing to lose tonight. No championship permutations for Nathan. So we'll be looking for a good performance. So these races will also count as well for any reclassifications of drivers ahead of the Club 100 iRacing Championship. So average performances are looked at from this series to decide who will be in Premier, Clubman, Intermediate and Rookie for the full main season later on in the year. There's a couple of drivers, particularly in Intermediate, looking like they could be moving up the order. On the long back straight then, here on the formation lap, if you're just joining us, it's live coverage of the 5th and final round for this year's BUKC iRacing Trophy. Spec series here on iRacing in the FF1600, the Formula Ford car. 23 drivers with involvement in Club 100, BUKC, BPEC and supporting universities of the BUKC, ready to go racing. For the first time this evening, 3 races, both 25 minutes each, the classic BUKC sprint format. Pace car will pull into pit lane, and it'll be Henry Mackenzie Friedman, number 55, going from pole position, going for the championship, of course. Ross Deal alongside on the front row, ready to go racing here at Virginia International Raceway, waiting for those lights to go green for the start of 25 minutes here in the United States. And I do believe we have gone. Good start for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Straight away, Sam Sanders trying to cut through there. And on the inside as well was Matthew Graham. Ross Steele feeling the need to go defensive into turn 1 straight away. Is that going to offer an opportunity for Sanders around the outside? He's going for 3rd place straight away, trying to move up from 4th place, knowing that he can improve his score with a top 3 in this race. In the end, he has to concede back into 4th there, behind Matthew Graham. The rest of them filing through the order. It's a good start for all 23 drivers. I think we've got everybody in play. Running into, oh, it's round there goes one of the intermediates. I think it's Nathan Maximan, it is. So Nathan Maximan spins straight round after that strong qualifying. Well, he's going to have work to do from the back of the field. Going up through the S's then now. Good start for those at the front of the order. See if we can bring Howard Mitchell back in. Howard, are you back with us? No, that's apologies for the technical issues on that one. Here at Ross Deal, this is the first example of the night of how this long straight is going to play out here. Has Ross Deal got enough of an overspeed to go for the lead? Well, he's definitely got up alongside Henry Mackenzie Friedman. This is good news for Sam Sanders. Doesn't want to see that number 55 in the lead, and Henry Mackenzie Friedman elects to not fight that one too hard. So it's the Welshman Ross Deal to the front of the order. Pack of 5 at the very front. That's completed at the moment by James de Havilland. Oh, a couple of drivers out on the grass there, exploring the full limits here at VIR. Josh Ladd at the back of this group as well. Former Club 100 iRacing champion, of course. Battle for the lead once again. Henry Mackenzie Friedman trying to go round the outside. Early stages of lap number 2. Down the inside now for turn number 3. Beautifully done by Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Gets himself back to the front of the order. Who's had a good start out there? Well, George Palozzi's had a decent one. Fighting at the moment with Logan McAllister for 7th place. George Palozzi knowing he needs to gain as many points as possible on his previous scores. Oh, near touch there between Palozzi and McAllister. I think there was a touch between the two of them, in fact. But they have been able to pull away from the pack behind. Back at the front of the order, Henry Mackenzie Friedman leads this one. Ross Steele there, P2. Sam Sanders has got up to P3. Now, this is where the spreadsheets come out, and we have a little bit of a consult on how this would affect things. Well, obviously it would be a closing of the scores. Henry Mackenzie Friedman would go to 516, effectively 536, because remember, the 20 bonus points for attendance at every single round is in play tonight and has now been awarded to anyone who's been at every race night. Meanwhile, Ross Steele going for another go at the lead. This time, Henry Mackenzie Friedman does not give that one up. Ross Steele's going to be back down the inside once again as they go towards the last couple of corners. Sam Sanders' eyes are going to be wide here because any opportunity to get down the inside and through passes. Oh, right there, round goes Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Off goes Graham. Off and over goes Josh Ladd. I think James de Havilland was also involved there. Big moment in the story of tonight's race because numerous front runners are going to be out of this one now. They're going to be out of this particular race. Ross Steele leads at the front ahead of Sam Sanders. James de Havilland has been able to get going again. Is in 3rd. David Whitehouse up to 4th. John Adey, Matthew Shawnee 5th and 6th. Well, goodness me. We wondered whether there would be fiercer racing tonight. Let's have a look at it again. Side by side between the two leaders. Oh, I just wonder if the wheels got locked there between Sam Sanders and Henry Mackenzie Friedman. There you see Josh Ladd going over and over and over again. That's him definitely out of the championship picture now. Well, that is a controversial moment. And it's only on the end of lap number 2. Ross Steele and Sam Sanders now clear. Potentially changes things further down the order. I think George Palozzi got caught up in all of that as well. For the clubman battle. That is going to be advantage Murray Adams then. Lawrence Vines is currently your lead clubman. Needs quite a set of circumstances to win the clubman title here tonight. We'll have the solace of knowing he's going to be in the top 3 in clubman. Logan McAllister got going again once more. Look at John Adey up in 4th place now. Well, he had a great result a couple of weeks ago at Kurgan in the first race. Can't score the bonus 20 points because he missed round 3. But with the results that he's had when he has been able to attend, he's still very much got a chance, I think, in the rookie stakes. The thing is, though, Olavo Castro is also scoring well right now. He's in 10th place. The black and white car just a bit further behind. Here is a battle between Matt Hale and Antonio Cicconio. Well, these two drivers have been in close quarters many times this season, as James Fremont's having a bit of a problem in the background. This is over 13th place between Hale and Cicconio. Meanwhile, further up the order, Lawrence Vines looking down the inside of Logan McAllister for 7th place. Potential opportunities here for Murray Adams to try and slip on through. On board now with Murray Adams. This will do right now. He's gaining points on results that he's had before that are counting at the moment, but by improving on them would shift scores like his 25th and 26th earlier in the season down into his dropped scores. The other crucial thing, he's ahead of George Palozzi right now, the other driver who is in a similar boat. In fact, George Palozzi is now off the lead lap. Josh Ladd also appears to have retired from this race. As moment there for Murray Adams. Can he get it back under control? Yes, he can. Loses a spot to Henry Mackenzie Friedman. but a big crossed up moment there for the Scotsman. Keeps himself in P10, and that just shows there's a lot still to play for tonight, and a lot of time for it to be played over. 7.5 minutes gone so far in this race. Feels like we've had 20 minutes worth of action so far here at Virginia International Raceway. Further up the order, John Adey there in 4th place, the first of the white and orange cars, the one with the orange nose, just ahead of Matthew Shawnee and David Whitehouse. Now a very interesting scenario. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, whilst having that moment on the grass at the end of lap 2, is actually still in a decent position here. He's back up to 8th place as one of the carrots is wide. It's Matthew Shawnee, so that's another one. Henry Mackenzie Friedman back up to 7th place now. As things stand, scores would look like this. Henry Mackenzie Friedman would go to 527 points. For David Whitehouse, he's a bit further down the order, also out of play at the moment with the championship. Sam Sanders would move to 537. Ross Steele would be on 525. So it would move us down to having 3 drivers mathematically in contention. So we've also got to keep an eye out for James de Havilland, of course. Actually, it might be 4, you know. No, not quite. So good results for Sam Sanders in this race would put James de Havilland out of the picture, irrespective of what James would be able to do in the 2 remaining races here tonight. What would be going on in rookie is a question as well. Well, John Adey would be moving to 358 points. Olavo Castro would be on 400. But the max possible for John Adey is 454, so there's still opportunities. Here on board now with Henry Mackenzie Friedman, who's found a way past Logan McAllister on this lap, is now having a go at David Whitehouse. This is for 5th place. It's looking very close between the 2 of them. All the while, all the time, Henry Mackenzie Friedman is gaining positions. Remember, he's gaining points. He had a DNF on his scorecard from, well, that one's already gone, so it's effectively he's racing against his old 16th place from a few rounds ago. So every time he's gaining spots above 16th place, he's gaining points, and that's another couple. Well, that's another one for Henry Mackenzie Friedman that time around. That would move him to 529. Side by side between, just behind, that is Logan McAllister going for the move on David Whitehouse and getting through into 6th place. Another top 10 for Whitehouse would be absolutely fine for him. Trying to hold in the top 6 in the championship scores right now. To note as well on that incident earlier on, Matthew Graham has also, well, he's kept going, but is now most likely out of championship winning permutations. Has had no luck this season, as that's a curious moment. John Adey lets Henry Mackenzie Friedman through. I suppose there's some sense in that. Henry Mackenzie Friedman on pace a little bit quicker, but has that now dropped John Adey back into the clutches of McAllister, Whitehouse and Vines behind? He needs to be ahead of as many of those drivers as possible to gain points on Olavo Castro in the rookie category. Meanwhile, it's going to be one of those race nights, ladies and gentlemen, where you cannot take your eyes from the screen, because there's going to be something important happening wherever we look. This is back at the front of the order, Ross Steele and Sam Sanders. For Sam Sanders, this would be him trying to move up to 540 points if he could make this move. Can achieve it, as we have a look at Logan McAllister getting past John Adey there for 5th place. Nathan Maximum was one of those drivers who had problems earlier on. Maximum coming back through the field now is up to 13th place. Getting the back end of the car out there. Beautiful car control once again from Nathan Maximum. Also should remind that the finishing positions from this first race will set the grid positions for race number 2. So as things stand, Henry Mackenzie Friedman would be moving to 530 points. Sam Sanders would be 537. The other important aspect is the max possible score. For Ross Deal, current race leader, it would be 539. Oh, is there a problem involving Matt Hale at the back of the field in 16th place? There's 2 other cars involved there. One of them was Eric Mignon. I think another one may have been Adrian Goodwin. Not the best of news for those. Oh, there's another incident, this time involving the 311 of Antonio Gitsonio, Matt Hale again. Oh, Eric Mignon's now piled in. The 129 of Adrian Goodwin. It's all getting a little bit scrappy at the back of the field. Apologies, that was a replay that we were looking at. Meanwhile, back in the front of the order, Ross Deal and Sam Sanders. Sam Sanders just elected to stay behind right now. Just under 5 seconds ahead of James de Havilland behind. A further 3.8 seconds further back is Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Coming over the line to complete lap number 7 then, 14 minutes gone. Sam Sanders not in championship winning position right now. I don't think he can actually do it in this race with how things are going. If he was to win the race, he would move to 540. Would knock Ross Deal out, but Henry Mackenzie Friedman could still win the championship with a couple of wins at the end. Lawrence Vines in amongst it all there, fighting with Murray Adams, the red number 6 at the back of this group. This is your battle for the lead in Clubman. George Palozzi has kept going again, and still only 1 lap off the leaders, which you never know could be important, because if there's more drivers who could hit problems in the remaining 10 minutes, he could gain spots that could affect the championship scores. Matt Hale is in trouble, as we've already seen in the last few minutes, so if that could get Palozzi back up to the top 20, that would be a counted score for Palozzi. On board at the moment with Murray Adams. Further in the order, battle raging on. I think that's David Whitehouse trying to make a move on Logan McAllister. Yes, it is. Whitehouse does make the move, gets up to 5th place, back into 2nd amongst the clubmen. So those are the drivers with the green roll hoops. On board once again now, this time with John Adey. 7th place right now for John Adey. How's Olavo Castro getting on in the rookie battle? He's only 4 places behind. Logan McAllister looking to the outside. Oh, contact there between McAllister and Whitehouse. I just don't think the 2 of them gave each other enough room on first looking of that. Well, it's good news for Adey. Gets back up to 6th place. Let's have another look at that one. Well, this is Nathan Maximin a bit further down the road. Has there been a problem for the 231? Oh, that's looking a bit out of shape, and yes, a spin for Nathan Maximin. He's going to rejoin the circuit, but is now down in 13th place. Immediate fight back. So this is the replay once again between McAllister and Whitehouse, locking wheels. Both of them losing control. Lawrence Vines doing very well to not make more severe contact with Whitehouse. Did lose a little bit of time, but thankfully no positions. John Adey's gone down a couple of spots. So what's happened there to John Adey? You can see the pink helmets and the 3-2-1 at the back of this group now. That elevates Matthew Shawnee up to 6th place. And Shawnee was looking quick earlier in the practice sessions. Putting some numbers into the spreadsheet as to what this would be telling us. Olavo Castro at the moment will be on 401 points. A 6th place finish for Matthew Shawnee would move to 397. For John Adey, an 8th place at the moment, put him on 354. But remember, John Adey at the moment has only got 10 scoring races, so is due another big haul of points once he completes his 11th race. The other two drivers, this is their 13th race, so they're trying to improve on scores that they've already achieved, of course. Logan McAllister now behind Murray Adams. This is looking very good for Murray Adams, I must say. His championship situation, this would move him to 452 points. And George Palozzi in 21st could still beat that. It would need some remarkable results, would need some bad scores for Murray for the rest of the night, and more than likely some top 3s, top 5s for George to overhaul that gap. For Lawrence Vines, what would Lawrence Vines be moving to? Well, Lawrence would be moving to 377 with a max possible 450. So yes, that would be Lawrence Vines out mathematically of that picture. Back at the front though, Ross Deal continuing to hold off Sam Sanders right now. Ross Deal also with this result just holding himself in the mathematical scenario for winning the championship. So for Ross Deal, this is big. Keep himself there. Take races 2 and 3. You never know with a drop score system. Wild things can happen. He could find himself back to the front of the order. He's had 1 race win so far this year in the BUKC iRACING Trophy as Ross Deal. That was race. Oh, now there's significant damage there. That's Sam Dimolo. So Sam Dimolo is going to be going into the pits. Now this is exactly the kind of situation we were talking about for George Palozzi. If he can just pick up some more points ahead of people having some misfortune, could still be in the fight for clubman class honours. Here we're having a look at a replay of David Whitehouse, I think, currently in 10th place. Going into turn 1. Oh, little half spin, gets it going again. 4 seconds clear of Olavo Castro at the moment. And, oh, off is Murray Adams. Murray Adams back on the circuit, but loses a couple of spots. Puts Lawrence Vines back in the lead of clubman, and there's also been a swap in rookie as well, because John Adey's now back up to 6th place. It's very much one of those nights where you've got to keep on top of all the maths that's going on right now. As things stand, that would bring Lawrence Vines back into the championship picture. Here we're having a look at another replay. This is how John Adey got up into 6th place. There it is. So John Adey's max possible score, 452. It's a good advantage over Olavo Castro's 401 at the moment. Well, a good opportunity for an advantage, I should say. Having the opportunity is one thing, executing and delivering on it is another. John Adey is doing just that right now. He's throwing his hat into the ring. Being able to overhaul Olavo Castro's score. James Hamlin having a good race, bit of a lonely race there in 3rd. He's got a big role to play. Just checking, would this result give him the Inters title? I think it would. It would move him to 510. David Whitehouse would have a max possible of 482. And I don't think that could be beaten, no. So as things stand, our first award of the season would be given to James Hamlin. He would be the intermediate class winner for this year's BUKC iRACING Trophy. He's had a great run of results. He's had a bit of misfortune, particularly at Alton Park at the start of the season. Had an incident down at Knickerbrook. Was classified P24. Well, that race has already gone out of his record. Only one other time outside of the top 5 for James de Havilland this season. this result, third, can hold on to it, that would be going as well. It was a 17th place in the first race at Okayama. New fastest lap of the race has just gone in by Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Has he got enough time to close in on James de Havilland? Well, a 1:59.4 last time around versus a 2 minute 0.04 for James de Havilland would suggest the answer is probably no. It could still happen. It could still be another gain of a point for driver with the number 55, which could be key at the end of the season. Meanwhile, on board now with Lawrence Vines, leading in clubman category. That's Matthew Shawnee just ahead. Is there a way through past the 317? No, not at this stage. Very tight through the S's here. On board now with Murray Adams, 1 place behind. Murray Adams knowing if he can get away through and past, you put Lawrence Vines out of the mathematical equation. It would just all be about beating George Palozzi. George Palozzi, who I think has actually been able to get himself back onto the lead lap here. It's quite problem for Murray Adams. Off the circuit now. Can he get back on the road without losing position? Yes, he can. Got a good advantage over David Whitehouse behind. There was something, it looked like there was tyre smoke in the background there. Maybe another driver in trouble. We'll try and keep an eye on that to see if anyone's falling down down the order. I don't think there is. It may have just been a trick of the eye there. But, that's going to put pay for any opportunities for Adams really to overtake Lawrence Vines in a 1v1 battle. He's going to need some misfortune for University City of London driver ahead. Lawrence Vines has had a very good year in the BUKC Intermediate Championship, multiple-time race winner. Not too far away from seeing the last lap board coming out here. Well, this is... so that is George Palozzi. No, so he's not quite got himself back onto the lead lap as George Palozzi. But he has got himself back to P21 and also clear of Logan McAllister on the road. So that's at least something for George Palozzi to be pleased with. The race pace is definitely there. There's 2 more opportunities to race later on this evening, of course. "25 minutes is up then. So this will be not far away from the last lap for the race leaders. I think Ross Steele is just coming through and onto the long back straight now. There he is. Sam Sanders there in second place. How much does Sam Sanders want to risk this? Right now he's got a 5-second cushion over James de Havilland behind. If he's going to make a move, it's got to be now. He's gone for the move now. Can he find a way past Ross Steele? This would put Ross Steele out of the mathematical equation. Can Ross Steele hold on for his 2nd victory of the year in the BUKC iRacing Trophy? That's brilliantly defended by the Welshman down through the last couple of corners. Haven't seen the white flag. But time has expired. We're at 26 minutes now, so the checkered flag should be coming out. There it is, and Ross Steele is going to take a very important victory here, just on the line. Or did he? Did he get it? Or did Sam Sanders just get ahead? Timing says Sam Sanders took it ahead of Ross Steele, and James de Havilland 3rd. That looked very close on the line to me. That's a provisional result, of course. But my, oh my, is that going to be the moment that gives Sam Sanders the title? 4th for Friedman, 5th for McAllister, 6th for John Adey. That's a big result for John Adey and as well for Matthew Shawnee in 7th place. 8th for Lawrence Vines, 9th for Murray Adams. This was it on the line. Where is the checkered flag line? I think he did. I think Sam Sanders did, just on the line, get that ahead of Ross Steele. That is a big, big moment. Should stress it's provisional, of course, but a win for Sam Sanders puts him on 540. 2nd for Ross Steele puts him on 522, but more importantly, moves the max possible score for Deal down to 536 and out of contention. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, 4th, now sits on 5.30 with a max possible 5.48. James de Havilland is also out now, but will have secured, well, out of the overall picture, we should say, is still very much part of the picture for the newcomer award, and has secured the intermediate class win as well, ahead of Logan McAllister, David Whitehouse and the rest of them. Well, fair play to Matthew Graham. He's going to get a result here for 19th place. But that is not the way that Matthew Graham would have wanted to start things here tonight. Still very much score in the top 5 for the championship, but yeah, that is not the way that he would have wanted to get more points on the board. Part of that issue that happened there on lap 2. Well, that was race number 1. Slightly chaotic first race in more ways than one. We're going to see, is Howard Mitchell's, or more to the case, is Discord's sending of Howard Mitchell's microphone over to DDM HQ working? Howard, are you there? No, it's not happy at all. We got like a puff of air from you, Howard, and then it went again. I don't know whether logging out and logging back in again might help with things, but well, he's still busily working away in the background, ladies and gentlemen, because Howard's doing all of the camera cuts for us as always. Just to go through the grid then, so it's a repeat of the results from race 1. Sanders and Deal on row 1, de Havilland and Friedman on row 2, McAllister and AD on row 3, Shawnee and Vines on row 4, Adams and Whitehouse on row 5, Castro and Maximin on row 6, and then moving further down the order for the rest of the field in this one. Fremont and Jitsonio row 7, Delamere and Goodwin row 8, Hale and Holland row 9, Graham and Dimolo row 10, Palozzi and Mignon row 11, and Josh Ladd starting from the back. This is also the point of the evening where we furiously put some numbers into the spreadsheet to try and give the full picture of what is going on in this one. So we'll keep you up to date with all of that. Spotted a problem with the spreadsheet. Apologies, folks. It's one of those where we're frantically doing the maths as we're going on this long formation lap. So, yes, the good news, I think, for Sanders is, as we say, on that provisional result from race 1, that means it's down to himself and Henry Mackenzie Friedman. In the clubman picture, Murray Adams on 4.49. George Palozzi can still beat that score. Lawrence Vines can also still beat that score. For intermediate, as we've noted, that one is done. That has been won by James de Havilland, but James can also still win in the novice ranks. Let's give it a go. Howard, are you with us?
Hello!
That's better. That's better than what we had.
Okay. Is it better enough for me to talk?
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Okay. What a good first race that was.
It was.
Thoroughly entertaining, thoroughly dramatic. This circuit is proving the challenge that we expected.
It is indeed. Just going through the rest of the permutations. So Olavo Castro in rookie now sits on 4.01. That is a 5-point lead over Matthew Shawnee. And a much bigger lead at the moment over John Adey. But remember, John Adey is still, this race is John Adey's 11th race of the year. So after this one, John Adey will have a full complement for his season. If he was to get another 6th place, it would be another. It would put him on 398, just as a reference. So the battle for rookie very much is on between Castro, Shawnee, and Adey. Sam Sanders in this race, what is he trying to improve on? Well, he's ditched a 2nd, he's ditched a 5th. Well, he needs second or a win. That's the only way he can improve his score of 540 now. It's a good position to be in with those points on the board, Howard, but it can put a bit of pressure on you to improve further. He's kind of got to go all in for the sake of a couple of points and could lose a lot of it as a result. This could be one of those races where just being ahead of other championship rivals is more important than outright winning this race.
Yes, indeed. He has got to, at some level, have a bigger an eye on the bigger picture, doesn't he? But yeah, he's got to be bold here.
Safety car pulls into the pits then. Second time tonight here at Virginia International Raceway. About to get 25 minutes underway once again here for the BUKC iRacing Trophy. Sanders and Ross Deal on the front row. Away they go. Good start for James de Havilland, immediately up to third. Henry Mackenzie Friedman trying to challenge for fourth place there on driver's left. Into turn one they go. Deal down the inside of Sanders, side by side as they run through turn one. It was a good start for the drivers through the first lap of race one. Can they repeat it? Deal to the front of the order, has managed to get through past Sam Sanders. That's a good start for the Welshman. He's got to keep going, I think, in respect to his own championship bid. As I say, it's a provisional result. I'm sure, well, it will be looked at. It will be at least reported by the automated system that there was that incident at the end of lap number 2. Numerous drivers in the title picture were involved. So it's going to get looked at, not because they're drivers in the picture, but because it was a quite clear incident. So there could be result changes because of that. That's why we just state that. Matthew Graham's already on the move, Howard, and Josh Ladd. They're up to 13th and 14th places respectively, with nothing to lose right now.
Oh no, this is nothing to lose for them, and going to be an interesting element of this race to see these guys working their way through, and potentially Nathan Maxmin as well, just up the road from Matthew Graham, with whom we ride on board now.
Yeah, a bit wide there for Olavo Castro. Olavo Castro trying to defend this lead in the rookie title picture. In terms of his drops, he's dropped to 20th place and a 19th. Has got another 19th that he could drop with another strong result in this next race. So I think if you were Olavo, a top 15 would do quite nicely here. Just add a few more points onto the tally that you've got right now. Will boost your score. Meanwhile, big things at the front of the order, Howard. Henry Mackenzie Friedman to the front of the order. Apologies, I think we've lost Howard once again. Apologies for the technical issues. Ross Deal having an attack now for the lead of the race. He's going to be on the outside through turn number 1. Very close once again between Deal and Henry Mackenzie Friedman, and again on exit. Henry Mackenzie Friedman knows he needs to win this race in all reality if he wants to take the overall title, but Ross Deal is in exactly the same situation. Henry Mackenzie Friedman to the inside once again as they go through the tight and twisty aspects of the end of the first sector. Ross Deal has managed to wheel his way through to the front of the order with some great positioning, but it's bringing everybody back into play. Sanders is there, McAllister is there, James de Havilland with another driver who's nothing really to lose now. He knows he's got the intermediate class wrapped up. He's now just got to go for it and try and gain points to wrestle the newcomer award away from Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Sam Sanders up there. Oh, as Ross Deal's got very deep and lost position. A mistake from Ross Deal, a costly one, puts him all the way down to 5th place and gives the lead back to Henry Mackenzie Friedman. But crucially as well, it elevates Sam Sanders back up to P2. Now that would mean that Sam Sanders' score for the championship would improve by 2 points and could be a crucial 2 points. Wouldn't be decisive in the moment. Henry Mackenzie Friedman with a win would move to 540. So it would be effectively winner takes all in the last race if the result was to finish like this. What a tantalising prospect that would be for everybody else now. They'll be looking to take opportunities should there be a moment between these two front runners. Sam Sanders now looking to the outside, as Ross Deal did a lap ago on Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Is that going to be a chance for Logan McAllister to get down the inside? He's definitely going to have a look there in the red and white car with the green roll hoop. James de Havilland not too far behind as well in the Nicky Lauda Tribute helmet in 4th place. Ross Deal 5th, Murray Adams there in 6th. This kind of result would very much be Murray Adams going into a position where he would have the Clubman title wrapped up. A nice solid top 10 by my early calculations would do the job for Murray Adams right now, because George Palozzi, whilst gaining positions, is down in 12th place right now. He's losing more points relative to what he could score. Lawrence Vines there in 8th place, similar picture. So for Murray right now, he is in a class-winning position. Ross Deal trying to improve now, has got back up to 4th place ahead of James de Havilland, but James de Havilland's going to have a bit of a fight back here. This is all going to be about who's got the slipstream, and it's James de Havilland. James de Havilland just got pulled there along by Logan McAllister ahead. He's able to return back to 4th place. Ross Deal getting on the grass there, trying to get every advantage he can. Josh Ladd coming through the field into the top 10 now. Ahead is Matthew Graham, who similarly is trying to deal with Lawrence Vines right now. Nathan Maximon's having a good run as, slight problem there for Logan McAllister. He's out wide and drops down to 6th place. I've got to say, I've been very impressed once again with Logan McAllister in this BUKC iRacing trophy. Qualifies through being a Club 100 cadet champion in last season's events, as through past Vines go both Graham and Ladd. As I say, he's been racing very well now, stepping up into the Club 100 Juniors, racing in the same machinery that the BUKC drivers of the current generation use. He's applied himself well here in the his first Club 100 Sim Racing Championships assault. Should be good for a top 10 finish in the championship if he continues this form. Good scrap going on here. It's a key one as well. It's P16, but it's involving Matthew Shawnee in the middle of this group. Now, what would this kind of result do for Matthew Shawnee? It would move him to 397. He would drop one of his 18th places out of his tally at the moment. So it is an improving championship position that he's in right now. But he'll want to get a little bit higher up, I think. He's in another 4 positions. Get him ahead of Olavo Castro's tally. And Olavo Castro's tally is now looking vulnerable. Problems for Olavo Castro in this race. I mean, he's down in 19th place right now. That would not be an improvement. The points for that place would not be an improvement on what he's got already. So this is the chance now for Matthew Shawnee and for John Adey, who's currently there in 11th place, to hop through, try and take the lead away, and that is just the move. So Matthew Shawnee goes up to 16th place. That moves his championship score to 398. You can find either another 3 positions in this race, or alternatively get 15th or something like that in the next race. That could be enough at the moment to take the lead. Meanwhile, another battle. This time it's an intermediate battle. Logan McAllister on the inside, Nathan Maximon on the outside. And for now it'll be McAllister who holds there in 6th place. I say that, Nathan Maximon switches back straight onto the inside. Good racing between the 2 intermediates. 2 drivers that I think with some strong results could very much in the not too distant future be moving up to the Clubman category. They've both got the speed for it, quite clearly, with them running in amongst and ahead of some of the established Clubman drivers in this form of racing. If you are interested in getting involved, best place is to head across to the simgrid.com. Club 100 Racing page on there. It's the host page for all of the Club 100 Sim Racing Championship activities. And go give that a follow. There will be things going up on there for over the summer, and then of course the main Club 100 iRacing Championship later on in the year. Trying to host once again. Number of rounds into the double digits, 10 to 12 rounds. Calendar to be announced, but will run from the early autumn and then through the winter. Meanwhile, at the front, this is a key move. Sam Sanders has found a way through, has he? No. Henry Mackenzie Friedman having another go back, but this is for the lead of the race and could be to decide the championship as well. And through has gone Sam Sanders. Takes first place on the road, elevates his live championship score to 545. Henry Mackenzie Friedman would drop to 537. His max possible would be 545, but it's changed back again. And this is more important now for Sam Sanders, because through comes Ross Deal. James de Havilland looking for his position as well. So Ross Deal is now taking points away from Sam Sanders. This is a very good piece of news for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, because he does not want to see Sam Sanders there in second place. That means the number 3 is improving his score from earlier on in the championship. We're on board once again now with James de Havilland. So Henry Mackenzie Friedman lost the lead for a couple of corners, has got it back, but more crucially, has been able to help Ross Deal to get through and into second place. How does that change things? It would tie it up. It would tie it up on points. It would put... Oh, it's off, it's Josh Ladd. Josh Ladd off there. This is on a replay. Once again, just showing how tough this car is to control out there for the drivers. Even the best drivers on the whole service, never mind here with the Club 100 Sim Racing Championships, can have a bit of a spin. So where has that put Josh Ladd? It's put him down to 11th place. What a story this would be. If you're just joining us, we're in race 2 of 3 here tonight. Final round of the BUKC iRacing Trophy. James de Havilland's going... Oh no! Off goes James de Havilland. Going for a big one down the inside. Started the lap on 4th, was trying to go through into the lead. I think that may have surprised Henry Mackenzie Friedman a bit there, but it pitched James de Havilland into a lurid spin off the road and out of contention for the race win. Won't affect how things are going for him in the picture for the intermediate class. He's already got that one wrapped up, but we're down to 3 now at the very front of the order. Let's have another look at it again. Yeah, it's always the risky thing with the FF1600. One wheel runs over the other. Hopefully you won't have too much damage with that. It's a fairly robust car, the FF1600 on iRace. Well, there's the evidence of it. Straight on the attack. James de Havilland back down the inside of Lawrence Vines. Gets through and into 8th place. I've got to give it to James. He's going for race victories in that regard, knowing he needed to get ahead of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Just didn't quite work out on that occasion. Developing story as well. The Adams, Maximin, Graham, McAllister group, not a group of names that we've consistently talked about as being together this year. Making some very good progress at the moment. Fantastic pace for them right now, as McAllister has a little look down the inside of Matthew Graham there for 6th place. They are catching the leaders. Sam Sanders right now, well, in the same respect, Ross Deal or Henry Mackenzie Friedman. You needed to get those top 3 results. A closing pack with nothing to lose is not good news at all. On board now with Ross Deal. Henry Mackenzie Friedman once again just ahead. No challenge from Deal at this stage. 14 minutes of the race gone. It's Eric Mignon just ahead of us, who is about to go off the lead lap. Should just tune in with the situation in the rookie category. Not much change. Olavo Castro still in 19th place, not improving his championship tally right now. Matthew Shawnee still in 16th place. That would leave him 3 points behind. Eric Mignon in 22nd would be mathematically out, as here's an attack. It's Matthew Graham down the inside of Nathan Maximin. Initially gets 4th place, but back comes Nathan Maximin. This is going to have been a good drive from Nathan Maximin so far. Be on the outside now, very close between the two of them. Be advantage for Matthew Graham for the next left-hander. And indeed, Matthew Graham has got himself up to 4th place. Murray Adams slipping down to 7th, knowing he doesn't need to compete too hard in this race, just needs a solid result. We'll close out the clubman picture. Problems for George Palozzi still there in 12th place, and Lawrence Fines in 9th. Oh, on the grass there is Logan McAllister trying to make his way through. That's definitely not going to be the quickest way up the hill. But just to go back to the rookie picture, to keep an update, keep an eye, I should say, on John Adey. 11th at the moment in this race. Actually, no, make that 10th. Would move him to 3.94. Would move him within 7 places, 7 points, I should say, of Olavo Castro. Could overhaul Olavo's current score with a top 15, so it's key at the moment that John Adey just holds himself there, just casually ahead of Josh Ladd. Very much easier said than done. Regular viewers of the series here will know. There is Olavo Castro. Now Olavo Castro, all of a sudden, big change of story, is up to 15th place. Now what does that do for Olavo's score? Puts him on to 4.05. That's good news. That's quite useful for Olavo. Wouldn't give him the title, but it's narrowing the window in which Matthew Shawnee or John Adey can fly through to take advantage. In fact, what has happened to Matthew Shawnee? Matthew Shawnee now down to 17th place, so whichever way you look at it for Matthew Shawnee, that's going in the wrong direction. Matt Hale's in the pits. That's a curious one. Not quite sure what the situation is there. But for Matt Hale, it's been a difficult season. I think this FF 1600 has been fully to his liking. There's been slight changes at the front of the order as well, in that it's now a top 2. Henry, Mackenzie Friedman and Ross Deal have broken away from Sam Sanders, who's now 1.5 seconds back. Nathan Maximin at the front of this train once again has got back ahead of Matthew Graham for 4th place. Matthew Graham, is he having a look down the inside now? I think that would be a bit brave, especially when you're about to go on to the long straight here in Virginia. Better opportunities later on in the lap. Now let's have a look here. This was Maximin on the outside, it looks like, going in towards turn 1, trying to get back ahead of Matthew Graham. Well, Nathan Maximin, always good value for an unorthodox overtake, and that was one right there. Good positioning from Nathan Maximin, but he's under attack once again now. Has lost position to Matthew Graham. Down to 5th place, but again, I don't think that'll worry him too much right now. He knows he's got some good speed, he's got some good understanding of how the first part of the lap is working. And arguably the last couple of corners as well, where he saw it one lap ago, Maximin was able to get past Matthew Graham. As what's happening here on the replay, that is a wide moment for Josh Ladd, gets back on circuit. Not the season that many people would have expected from Josh Ladd, especially when he was showing that dominant form at the start of the year. Hasn't been able to refine his round 1 and round 2 form. Missed round 3, of course. He's very much out of sorts in round 4. Has been busy though. Racing again for Williams Esports. A lot of preparation for the Sebring 12 hours, which led to a special event victory. I'm sure we'll see Josh Ladd back in form later on in the year when we do get to the iRACING Championship. Battle for the lead once again. Henry Mackenzie Friedman and Ross Deal. Ross Deal knowing that, well, it would put him out of the mathematical title picture, this result. And even if he was to win this race, because Mackenzie Friedman and Sam Sanders are scoring well once again, just leave Rossdale with too much to do. But would be looking good for a top 3 position in the standings. And kind of a similar story for Rossdale to what we saw in the main Club 100 iRacing Championship last year. It's a case of if we've been able to see Rossdale in the full season, I do still think he would have been a title contender against Kieran Harrison. Showing once again his true skills. Back with our 4th place battle, and once again it's Nathan Maximum back at the front of it, ahead of Matthew Graham, Logan McAllister and Murray Adams. James Havland is continuing to circulate, by the way. We saw him have the problem earlier on. He's there in 8th place. Side by side once again. Well, Nathan Maximan's done it once already. He's now switched to the inside to defend ahead of Matthew Graham. It's going to be a lane for Logan McAllister down the inside. That's beautiful positioning from Logan. It's going to be alongside Matthew Graham for 5th place. Murray Adams doing very much the sensible thing. Just stay out of this one. Doesn't need to fight right now. Just needs a solid point score and he'll be home. Who is that off the road to driver's right? I think David Whitehouse is falling down the order, but that's the wrong colour car. Might have been as... Well, that's George Palazzi and that's David Whitehouse. So they have had a problem. They have had a coming together over 12th place. Let's have a look at it. Oh, there was Josh Ladd involved in it as well. Oh, and yeah, 2 into 1 didn't go on that one. I don't think there was particularly any driver at fault in that case on first look from that camera angle. Oh, wild moment for Nathan Maximan. Nearly loses control. Matthew Graham also nearly loses control in the art of overtaking there. Well, that was a different one. Logan McAllister and Murray Adams, their heart rates must have gone up a few beats at that point. How much time have we got left in this one? Well, we're under 5 minutes to go. Logan McAllister now looking for a way through, trying to get past Matthew Graham for 4th place. Hold that position there on the left-hand side. He's going to have the advantage for the next corner. Lovely stuff from Logan McAllister. Back up into the top 5 and even further up the order now. P4, oh, is he a little bit wide? Is he going to be under attack here as they go over the start-finish line? 3 minutes to go. Matthew Graham's been quite strong here. I think it is one of the back markers that's just keeping out of the way right now. Nearly 3 wide. Graham on the inside, McAllister in the middle, Maximan on the outside. Graham back through into 4th place. Murray Adams just continuing to just sit at the back of this group thinking, nope, I don't want any part of this right now. I want my solid 7th place finish right now, ladies and gentlemen, and that clubman title. It's very entertaining stuff once again here from the BUKC iRacing Trophy. Back towards the front of the order. No real change really. Henry Mackenzie Friedman there in 1st. Remember, this result as it stands, with the provisional result of race number 1 considered as well, would tie it up on points between Sam Sanders and Henry Mackenzie Friedman. So effectively would mean winner takes all in the final race of the evening. We should consider a tiebreaker situation. That one very much would go the way of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. If he was to take this race win, it would be his 5th of the year. Sam Sanders at the moment has 3, so even if Sam Sanders was to get another run, there wouldn't be a tiebreak situation possible with Sam Sanders taking a race victory. And it is key to remember that if they were both to effectively non-score in the last race, it would be Henry Mackenzie Friedman who'd take the title on countback, virtue of race wins. That wasn't the optimum line though for Henry Mackenzie Friedman coming back down the hill. Rossdale not quite able to find a way through though, but this is going to be the opportunity now as they go on to the last lap. 24 minutes gone in this one. Oh, bit of a push there from Rossdale. Henry Mackenzie Friedman just holding to the inside. Apologies, we've just had a bit of a pause there on the screen. Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of the 5th and final round for this year's BUKC iRacing Trophy. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Apologies that we missed the end of race number 2. What I can tell you is that the race was won by Ross Deal ahead of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Apologies as well, but there is a consolation result. Ross Deal ahead of Henry Mackenzie Friedman, Sam Sanders and Matthew Graham. How does that affect things in the championship? It means that we've now gone into a situation where Sam Sanders is on 540 points. The only driver who can beat him is Henry Mackenzie Friedman, who currently sits on 347. We'll go through all the permutations of what results in this race mean for them shortly. It is now down to those two. Ross Deal, despite winning that last race, cannot score more than either of those two. So 536 is the best that Ross can get. Currently sits on 530. He has in effect secured third place in the championship. Inters, as we know already, James de Havilland has won. James can't get the novice trophy the newcomer award anymore in this one, so that is, well, definitely a spot in the main championship booked for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. If we can pull up the consolation results again, the results for Murray Adams, that will have secured him the Clubman honours as well. So well done to Murray Adams, winning in the Clubmans with that 7th place. Very interesting picture in rookie, though. That 9th place for John Adey moves him to 397. He now has a full complement score, but also has some scores that aren't so great still in play in that regard. So, for example, a 24th place back in round 2 is still in play for John Adey, but he's not too far behind his two title rivals in the picture for rookie. Matthew Shawnee is on 400. Olavo Castro is now on 407. So if you're John Adey, something around the 12th place would potentially be good enough to get past Olavo. So that is a situation we're going to be keeping an eye on for this next race. Apologies, we've got issues. That means Howard Mitchell in voice is not able to join us tonight, but he is there doing all the graphics and the cameras for us. Ross Deal is on pole position then, that the graphic shows us for this next race. Alongside him on the front row, it will be Henry Mackenzie Friedman, Sam Sanders and Matthew Graham on row 2, Nathan Maximan and Logan McAllister row 3, Murray Adams and Lawrence Vines row 4, John Adey and James de Havilland row 5, Josh Ladd and George Palozzi there on row number 6. Into the second half of the field, Olavo Castro and Matthew Shawnee on row 7, David Whitehouse and James Fremont on row 8, Simon Delamere and Matt Hale on row 9, Sam Dimolo and Antonio Gitzonio on row 10, Eric Mignon and Tom Holland row 11, Adrian Goodwin completing the 23 runners in this one. So, championship decider, all on the line. One more race for us here in the first ever BUKC iRacing Trophy. And the scenario is very simple. If Sam Sanders wins this race, he takes the title. If Henry Mackenzie Friedman wins this race, he takes the title. Even if the other driver was to finish in second place, that would not change things. They're both tied on points. They were tied on points at a provisional stage during race number 2, but Sam Sanders has a 3-point advantage. A couple of scenarios to play through as well. If Sam Sanders was to finish second and Friedman third, that would be the title going to Sam Sanders. If Friedman was to be third and Sanders fourth, that would be the title to Henry Mackenzie Friedman on tieback, or countback rather, virtue of having had more race wins across the course of the season than Sam Sanders. We'll keep up to date that throughout the course of the race, and it'll be 25 minutes once again for the drivers. Apologies once again for the technical issues earlier on this evening. Murray Adams there. Nice comfortable race for Murray Adams in respect to having already secured the club and title. Unlucky evening for George Palozzi, means he cannot overhaul the tally that Murray Adams already secured and booked in. Very key race this for Olavo Castro. Can he win the rookie title? Has very much got it in his own hands, of course, but any problems and the door will be open for John Adey and Matthew Shawnee to step through and take the rookie title. Remember, Olavo Castro at the moment provisionally on 407 points, Matthew Shawnee on 400, John Adey on 395. Scores for the dropping side of things. Already gone from Olavo's scores are a 2 19th and a 20th place. So it's a 16th place that he's trying to get rid of next. For Matthew Shawnee, a couple of 19ths and an 18th gone so far. Another 18th could be gone in this one. For John Adey, 3 did not starts already gone. 24th place. So John Adey has the most room in the mathematics to improve in that regard. We're about to find out then who's going to be the BUKC iRacing Trophy winner for 2024. 25 minutes on the clock here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Ready to go racing for one more time here tonight at Virginia International Raceway, and Ross Deal will take it from pole position. Has gone quite early, committed to that acceleration. Can't win the title, but definitely wants to take another race victory here. Side by side between the championship contenders straight away. And it's Henry Mackenzie Friedman around the outside of Sam Sanders there and takes the advantage, takes P2. Sam Sanders knows he's got to hold that third place right now. Cannot afford for Henry Mackenzie Friedman to get too far down the road. Henry Mackenzie Friedman having a little look down the inside there for the lead, but nothing of it there. Ross Deal calmly holding his line, holding his speed through the corner. All drivers have made it through the first part of the course. I think we've got one did not start. So it's going to be Adrian Goodwin. Closing once again back up at the front. The story that we've seen throughout the course of this season is that this car, it's very difficult to break away from a pack in when you're the leader. Strong slipstream on it, meaning racers stay close, they stay tight for a long, long time. But immediately Henry Mackenzie Friedman looking for that race lead. This is where we'll see a lot of overtaking in this race, up towards the top of the hill here at VIR, and he's taken the lead of the race away from Ross Deal. Switch to the inside there from I think Matthew Graham, looking for a way past Sam Sanders. Can Henry Mackenzie Friedman? Oh, he's getting very close there. He just pulled out of that one, did Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He knows he needs to win this race. He needs to score points ahead of Sam Sanders. There's no good in fighting for one early on and taking yourself out of contention for the race win, because that would be the end of the championship hopes. You've got to play the long game right now if you're Henry Mackenzie Friedman. That's exactly what he's done in that sequence of play. But now he's going to have to deal with Matthew Graham, another driver with nothing to lose. He sat there in third place, was involved in that unfortunate incident. Oh, it's a moment there for Ross Deal now. Did Henry Mackenzie Friedman get caught out under the brakes? Because through has come Matthew Graham. Sam Sanders has got ahead of his title rival. Nathan Maximan's also getting involved with Logan McAllister. Well, for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, he held himself in there for fourth place, but it's very interesting to see what happened there into turn one at the start of lap number 2. mistake from Henry? Did he just outbrake himself, concentrating on what was going on behind with Matthew Graham? Either way, that changes the situation back into the advantage position now for Sam Sanders. Third for Sanders, fourth for Friedman, would leave them 6 points apart. As Graham's a little bit wide out of the final corner. Ross Deal back to the front then, as expected for Matthew Graham, leading on to the long straight. Plenty of cars behind. He's never going to be able to hold onto the lead there, but can he hold on to second place? Sam Sanders looking down the inside, bit of a touch between the two of them. Sam Sanders, like Henry Mackenzie Friedman a couple of laps ago, just pulls out of that one. Had to pull out of that one, and right now this is okay. This is a championship winning position, especially when Friedman's having problems further back and losing positions. Has lost out to McAllister, has lost out to Maximin. Ladd has gone through as well. Well, Josh Ladd, we've not seen the best of Josh Ladd so far tonight, but we do know in this kind of race he can be a factor, he can be a disruptor. This was down into turn one on the previous lap. Now, was there contact there between Deal and Friedman? That's very close indeed. I don't think it was deliberate at all from Henry Mackenzie Friedman. It wouldn't be in his interest to be making contact with other drivers, of course. I think that was just an honest mistake from Friedman. He's got to work hard now. It's down to 5th place now. Whilst that's a decent race result, it would be points improving for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, but not to the extent where he would be able to overhaul Sam Sanders' tally. Here we are on board with Matthew Graham, P2 at the moment for Matthew Graham. Does he try and work with Ross Deal at this stage of the race? Break away from Sam Sanders behind, leave the championship protagonists to fight over their own fate. There is George Palozzi in 12th place. Just keeping up to speed with what's going on in the rookie category. 13th at the moment for Olavo Castro. Another improvement would move him to 410. Matthew Shawnee at the moment is P9. That would move him to 409 for John Adey. 10th place would be 409. There's 1 point covering that top three right now. They have now just switched positions, which changes things for the rookie award. John Adey up to 9th place, now pulls him level on points with Olavo Castro, and the count back would definitely go in the advantage, or in the sway of John Adey, virtue of his 5th place last time out in one of the races at Rudskirchen. Back at the front of the order though, Ross Deal holding on to the race lead. Now Sam Sanders down the inside of Matthew Graham. This is risky. At the moment, this is a move he doesn't need to do, but he wants to get himself in a more comfortable position at this stage of the race. Logan McAllister not too far behind there as well in 4th place. Very close quarter racing once again between McAllister and Sanders, and it just settles down. Deal, Graham, Sanders, McAllister. This is great stuff though for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, because it's going to give him the opportunity to close back in. He needs, in this race right now, quite simply to just get ahead of Sam Sanders. 4th place would leave him 1 point behind Sam Sanders in the championship standings. Of course, if he was to find a way past Sam Sanders for 3rd, they would then flip around. It would be a 2-point swing to Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Bit crossed up there for Logan McAllister. Going through and onto the back straight. Bit wide as well for Matthew Graham. Looking back now from Ross Deal. That's Matthew Graham moving out to driver's left. Sam Sanders following him. For Sam Sanders, if he can find a way through in up to 2nd place, it would be 2 points gained in the championship. Very close between them. They're all locking up. They're all having problems through down the hill. But the sheer skill of these drivers all keep it on the road and keep themselves in the race. Well, that through there, that's Logan McAllister retaking 4th place ahead of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. So Matthew Graham's taken the lead of the race, Ross Steele P2. That doesn't change things in terms of the championship. Sam Sanders is still there in 3rd place, not improving his score right now. To do that, he would need to get 2nd or 1st in this race. But the crucial thing is he's ahead of Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He's now looking around the outside. For 2nd place will have the advantage on the next corner, not just for taking Matthew Graham's spot, but potentially the lead as well. He has taken the lead. So Sam Sanders goes through into the lead of the race, moves his live score to 545 and leaves it all down now to this driver here, Henry Mackenzie Friedman, who's found a way past Logan McAllister for 4th, but he's going to need now to race up to the very front of this order and take that race win, that 1st place away from Sam Sanders if he wants to be BUKC iRacing Trophy Champion for 2024. He's already booked his spot as the best newcomer through to the Club 100 iRacing Championship later in the year, but he wants more than that. He's a premier driver. He's shown every bit of that categorisation throughout the course of this year, and he wants to make his mark here in the Club 100 Sim Racing Championships. Looking further down the order, by the way, still the same situation in rookie. John 80 in 9th. Matthew Shawnee now down to 11th, so that moves him down a point. But Olavo Castro is still there in 13th place, means at the moment on countback it's going in the direction of 80. Back at the front of the order though, another change of lead. Sam Sanders in the lead on the long straight, means inevitably he's going to lose that lead. He's even lost 2nd place as well. So he's now back to 3rd and just ahead of his title rival. On to the pit straight once again. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, remember, he can't afford to have contact with any of these drivers and not score in this race. He's got to score well, and it's got to be ahead of Sam Sanders. He checks to the outside now, looking round the outside for 3rd place, and he's got it. He's got down ahead of Sam Sanders. Well, 1 lap ago it was all looking good for Sam Sanders. He's now got Josh Ladd on his tail, and Josh Ladd's gone through. So Josh Ladd goes up to 4th. That puts Sam Sanders now down to 5th place, well out of the zone of scoring points for himself. Henry Mackenzie Friedman's now up to 3rd. That would be tied on points, 540 apiece, and it would be the number of race victories for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. In fact, no, it wouldn't, because they've both, yes it would, sorry, they would be 4 race wins for Henry, 3 race wins for Sam. So it would be advantage to the newcomer. Something tells me though, 14 minutes to go in this race. There's going to be plenty of changes between now and the checkered flag. Looking further down, there's John 80, 9th place right now. That would move John 80 to 410 points. It would tie his score with Olavo Castro, also on 410 points. Could we have 2 tiebreaker scenarios here tonight? Well, that's a bold move. That's putting it in a position of not needing a tiebreaker, because through here comes Henry Mackenzie Friedman up to 2nd place. 2 more points as things stand for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Ross Steele still at the front of it. Would move up to 5.36 and be comfortable there in 3rd. Henry Mackenzie Friedman now going for the lead of the race. This could be key. Can he get to the front and start to control this one? Could he put 3-4 cars between himself and his title rival? Looking to the outside, he's done it. Great move from Henry Mackenzie Friedman. More than half of this race to go, but how key could that be now? Because it's a complete role reversal to what we saw earlier on in this one. It's now Sam Sanders needing to find his way through, and just for company, he's got all of the clubmen behind him now. 3 wide for a moment. Wide goes Matthew Graham. Sam Sanders now on the dirt. He's going to lose positions there. I think that was James de Havilland going through. Was the first of the clubmen's. Logan McAllister still in there, and the Clubman class winner Murray Adams not too far behind. It's starting to slip from the clutches of Sam Sanders here, who's led this championship for so long. He's still fighting with Matthew Graham. This is over 5th place. This is not the kind of position that Sam Sanders would have wanted to be in at all. He hasn't finished a race lower than 6th this season across the 15 that have taken place here in the BUKC iRacing Trophy. As we will have a look at a replay, this was Matthew Graham running wide. Yes, indeed it was. But it could still all change at the front. Henry Mackenzie Friedman's still got to do his bit of the bargain. And here comes Josh Ladd. Josh Ladd going for a move on Ross Steele. Can't quite make his way through and take 2nd place. Well, how apropos would it be that it's Josh Ladd who could decide where the title goes here in this one. Unfortunate results for Josh Ladd tonight. Even with the missed round, wouldn't have been part of the title picture, but everybody knows that any race that Josh Ladd enters, he will want to win. He's already got past Ross Steele here. This is another round the outside move for Josh Ladd. This is careful times now if you're Henry Mackenzie Friedman, because you do not need to be getting in too close of a battle with Josh Ladd. And I think that's quite sensible that he's let him go, or has he let him go? Yes, he has. So through goes Josh Ladd into the lead of the race. That puts Henry Mackenzie Friedman back to 2nd place, gives him a 2-point advantage over Sam Sanders in the championship. Big story at the back of the field though. Spin for Olavo Castro. Spins out of 13th place, moves down to 15th, loses 2 points. And that could now... off for Henry Mackenzie Friedman! Off for Henry Mackenzie Friedman! What happened there? What happened there indeed? It was close. Oh, it was contact with Josh Ladd! Contact with Josh Ladd, he's kept it going. But that could be the moment that costs Henry Mackenzie Friedman the BUKC iRacing Trophy title. He's down to 8th place now. The thing we said he could not afford to have happen has happened, and he's now in a position where this would be a dropped score. 8th place would be nowhere near good enough. And we said it before, earlier in this race he was 4th, he was 5th, he was needing to find a way past Sam Sanders and get up the road. He did all of that, and has now got to do it all over again with only 9 minutes remaining. Live points would now be this. Sam Sanders still there on 540. He's pretty much been on 540 throughout the course of this race. But now Henry Mackenzie Friedman would be on 537. Let's have another look at that moment. Oh, well. It's often something that we see with the wheels locking together between these cars. Josh Ladd will say he gave enough space. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, no doubt, will disagree. That is one that will be looked at afterwards. Well, what a dramatic night here at Virginia International Raceway. It's still not done. Ross Steele is back to the front of the order. He's found a way past Josh Ladd as everything was going on there. Sam Sanders in 3rd, not improving his championship score right now, but not needing to improve his championship score right now. But he has got a very, very racy Matthew Graham just behind him. There in 4th place. I think, well, if you're Sam Sanders now, there is a potential tactical play that you do here, which is you let the top 2 go and you try and back it up, but not too much. You don't want to bring Henry Mackenzie Friedman back into play here. The time gaps are Sam Sanders' best friend right now, or should we say, oh, that is the slipstream nearly coming to blows again. Matthew Graham on the grass as they head towards roller coaster. There's a car off towards driver's left in the grass. I think it might be Sam Dimolo in all of that. My, oh my. Somehow they all keep themselves again on the circuit. Not the first time we've said something along those lines tonight. That's Matt Hale just up ahead, who's going to be going off the lead lap. That's Sam Dimolo again, just keeping well out of the way of everybody going through the final couple of corners. Josh Land now looking to the outside. This is one of the worst positions you could possibly be if you're Sam Sanders now, and I actually think he's doing the sensible thing here. He's just letting himself drop out of this. He doesn't need to be part of this fight. The drivers ahead of him cannot beat him in the championship as Josh Ladd has found a way to the front of the order. Ross Steele now looking around the outside. Oh, Sanders has spun! Sanders has spun! And now is he going to lose control of his fate? He has! He has! Henry Mackenzie Friedman has gone ahead again. Henry Mackenzie Friedman has got ahead again. Let's have a look at how that happened. On board with them, and oh, now was that, it looked all under control for Sam Sanders on initial corner exit. Was there a touch from another driver behind? Let's have another look at it again. Different angle. Oh yeah, I think there was contact with James de Havilland just behind. This could be quite a busy one for the stewards to sort out. Oh, is that Sam Sanders going again? Was that Sam Sanders? It was. Sam Sanders has spun, and now it's definitely out of his hands. He can't improve his score. He's all the way down in 11th place as there's more goings on behind there. He's just got too deep. Well, we saw Ross Steele do it earlier. This time, Sam Sanders spinning round. So, what does that do for the scores? Well, it's not the first time we've seen this in a BUKC final race of a season, or that in real life BUKC over the years. But right now, both championship leaders are not improving their scores. Henry Mackenzie Friedman is staying on 537. Sam Sanders is staying on 540. Meanwhile, there's an almighty scrap going on right at the front of the field, and this is very good news if you're Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Because right now, Henry Mackenzie Friedman's in the 158s. What pace at the moment for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He needs, to remind, he needs 3rd place. 4th, 5th, 6th will not do. 4th would leave him 1 point behind. 3rd would tie it up, 540 apiece. And it would go to Henry Mackenzie Friedman on countback. Meanwhile, John Adey doing a brilliant job. Absolutely brilliant job. Is up to 8th place now. In the rookie class, that would move John to 411 points. Just going to run through the orders again to make sure that everything is counting correctly with the bonuses, of course. Yeah, so 411 for John Adey. Where is Olavo Castro right now? Well, he's back up to 14th place. That's another point gain for Olavo Castro. Down the inside goes Matthew Graham for the lead of the race. Can he take the lead of the race? This is all over pride now. This isn't going to be for championship positions, especially ahead of Josh Ladd. But it's got through. Great move for Matthew Graham. There's going to be 2 more laps of this one. On board now with Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He can see that 3rd place ahead of him that he needs, but getting to it is going to be a very hard task, you'd feel, in this one. 2 by 2, all the way through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th. Matthew Graham still at the front of this one. What a show these drivers are putting on here. Henry Mackenzie Friedman trying to find his way through there. Oh, makes contact! Contact with James de Havilland and spins! And that may be it! That may be it for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. He needed third place. There is George Palozzi just behind him, and that is surely going to be the moment that gives the BUKC iRacing trophy to Sam Sanders. Let's have a look at it again. It was all stacking up ahead. I think it may have been contact with Murray Adams. It was Murray Adams round. There was a second piece of contact that righted Murray Adams. A two-touch 360 there for Murray Adams. But surely that is it now for Henry Mackenzie Friedman. Well, he'll still take the title of best newcomer. He will still be on the grid for the Club 100 iRacing Championship later in the year. But Sam Sanders, having the worst race he's had throughout the course of this season, is now looking at the championship. John Adey's had a problem. John Adey's had a problem. Is now in 12th. And has spun and has potentially spun out of a position that would give him the rookie title. Oh, well, what a moment. John Adey, who hasn't put a foot wrong all night, and swings things back now. Matthew Shawnee might be taking this now. In fact, yes, Matthew Shawnee's now in a position where he leads the rookie class on 409. 1 point ahead of Olavo Castro. John Adey needs 3 places. And the 3 drivers ahead of him, Lawrence Vines, a clubman, David Whitehouse in the best form he's ever been in, and Sam Sanders. That is a very tall order for John Adey. My, oh my. We have had some thrills and spills this year in the BUKC iRacing trophy, but this has been to another level tonight. That's even before we get to the technical problems. Apologies once again for the technical issues here tonight. Matthew Graham, we are on the last lap, ladies and gentlemen, leads this one ahead of Ross Deal. Josh Ladd there in 3rd. Logan McAllister having a brilliant run once again there in 4th. Here is Matthew Shawnee. Matthew Shawnee needs to keep Sam Sanders behind to win the title in rookie. As you know, he'd be okay. A countback situation would go in the direction of Shawnee. He had a 6th place back in round 2. But then similarly, Olavo Castro just needs to gain a spot and he will gain points as well. Meanwhile, there's another change for the lead. Ross Steele has got to the front. This is it for the race victory, the last one of the season. Josh Ladd's gone all in, has lost control. They've all lost control. I've lost control. The whole stream has lost control. And Ross Steele is going to take another victory here tonight. It's been a brilliant night for Ross Steele. He has tamed Virginia International Raceway, takes his 2nd race win of the night. We do see him cross the line and take the checkered flag this time. Logan McAllister takes P2. A brilliant drive from Logan. 3rd for James de Havilland. 4th is going to go to Matthew Graham. 5th across the line. There is Sam Sanders. It is a provisional result, we should stress, but that should be it. 10th place, 9th place leaves Sam Sanders on 540 points. 8th place for Henry Mackenzie Friedman, 537. But what has happened in rookie? 10th for Matthew Shawnee on 408. 11th for John Adey, 408. Olavo Castro 15th, 408. It's a 3-way tie that goes in the end to John Adey on countback, virtue of a 5th place at Rutskurgen over the 6th place of Shawnee at Okayama, over the 8th place for Castro at Alton Park. Wow, what a stunning finish there. I'm out of breath. I'm very much hoping right now that the technology is going to allow Howard Mitchell to take over from us. It probably won't know it tonight. Howard, are you there?
I try to be.
Oh, he's there to. That'll do. He's very boomy, ladies and gentlemen. But that will. I've genuinely am lost for words, mate.
That's hopefully I'm not too boomy. Sorry, everybody. But for me, Andrew, I'll be honest with you. I've never had an iRacing race in this category, but that's race of the year for me so far.
Yep.
That was ridiculous. I mean, it changed the championship lead changed at least 3 times there.
It did.
And we could barely keep up with the machinations between the overall championship win and the rookies. So, goodness me, it was just so. And at the same time, one of the battles of the season at the head of the field, come what may in terms of the championship. So, blimey.
Now, I do have to stress, these are very provisional results, ladies and gentlemen.
You do.
Let's just go through for the key ones. As things stand, Sam Sanders, 540 points from a best 11 of 15. He's attended every single round. He gets the bonus 20 points. So 520 effectively for the best 11 from 15, plus the bonus 20. So do consider that as part of this for all of these scores. Henry Mackenzie Friedman, 537. Ross Deal finishes on 536. This is why I'm saying it's provisional, ladies and gentlemen, because if there's any kind of position changes involving those 3, that could change where the overall title goes. I'm just going to leave that one there. Clubman, we know. Well done, Murray Adams. Had a very difficult start to the season, Howard. But since round 3, it's been epic. I mean, he was very magnanimous. What's the word? I can't even speak at the end of tonight. His pace was amazing at Rudskirchen. So to see him carry through and get the points tonight, it's been a small field in Clubman, but a great field with himself, George Palazzi and Lawrence Fines. Well, all 3 of them. They all get some iRacing dollars.
Absolutely, they do. And he was indeed very magnanimous.
Yes.
And fair play to George Palazzi, Lawrence Vines, and to Adrian Goodwin. His classmates kept him very honest, but just has nailed the latter part of the season.
Into has definitely gone the way of James de Havilland. We will have to tally the scores up to see who's taken it between David Whitehouse and Logan McAllister for P2, but I reckon it's between those 3 drivers that they'll be your top 3 in Inter. And rookie, I mean, what a story. It's been great to have a good, strong number of rookies in this season, a number of them newcomer rookies as well. I need to come up with a better name than rookie, because a good number of them aren't rookies. We needed a 4th class, and that's what we called it. But, you've had 3 drivers new to the Club 100 Sim Racing Championships, all come in, all give it their best shot. Castro, Shawnee and Adi all finish on the same number of points, provisionally. I'll just say that again. But if it has gone the way of John Adi, I think that's kind of deserved, because he missed round 3, so he's done that without having the 20 bonus points. And I think we've lost him again. He's back. Is he back?
Hello.
Oh, he is. Yes, still there.
Yes. Absolutely amazing class. I'm going to say as little as possible. Just know that I'm a happy man, and it's been an amazing season.
Indeed. Thank you for your comments. Can we advertise my wife doing the London Marathon? Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely, we can. Best of luck to Sarah doing the London Marathon. We'll hook up with some charitable giving pages and promote that out over the DDMM channels. And well done this season, mate. It's been really good to see yourself racing towards the front. John, yes, we reckon this is frantically putting the numbers into the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet's right most of the time, but not absolutely bulletproof. Yes, we do reckon it's a 3-way tie on points between yourself, Matthew Shawnee, and Olavo Castro. There we go. Dave's got there before me. There's just giving page for Sarah for a London Marathon run. There's a yes. Okay, I've heard enough that people want to do Roval. At the end of the day, I don't have to race it, so we can just commentate on it as long as it's not a graphical nightmare. we'll consider it at least for some. Maybe we've got an idea of a potential Festival of the Americas Championship for the summer, so maybe we'll throw it into that.
Scenic cam for the whole stream on that one.
Scenic cam for the whole stream, maybe. Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. We should say it's had a bit of a wobble tonight. A user-induced wobble, but let's have a little round of applause for the HP PC that could, because it had a wobble, but it's done these streams since the start of 2020, and in terms of a broadcasted Club 100 Sim Racing Championships, this may be its final appearance tonight. We've got some upgrades that have already come into DDMM HQ, and we very much now have found the Sim PC is now the bottleneck, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll look to improve that. But well done, HP PC from James Fitchew, the PC that shouldn't but could, and has produced all of these streams for the last few years.
In a dramatic reversal within the DDMM PC stakes, because mine has not overheated this season.
Well, it's C drive, just completely loaded up with about a lap to go through race 4. So apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We saw the key race at the end, of course. Any last words, Howard, before we check off tonight? We've got Club 100 stream. Well, you've got a Club 100 stream coming up in a couple of weeks.
We do, yes. GYG, all Club 100-y things GYG are coming up, so definitely follow us along for that at Double Dash MM on social media for everything we're up to. I'm not even going to try to recall everything that we've got going on in the next month, but in Club 100, GYG for both seniors and the cadets and juniors. Weekends of that, so
I'll have a go. As I say, he's absolutely right. We've got next weekend. Myself on British Kart Championships. Thank you everybody for your support of the back of British O Plate. Wow, what an event that was! If you haven't watched the Senior Rotax final back yet, where have you been? How are you in a karting community that hasn't heard about that race? I'll say it again: best owner UK karting race. Before Mike Coppin and anybody else starts going, but what about Bookmore 2022? It's like, I'm being very specific and careful with the words here, ladies and gentlemen. Best owner kart race in the UK that I've ever commentated on. If you haven't watched it, go and have a look at it. It was Race of the Week last week for Alpha Live. I'll never say over Club 100 that all races and a race in the UK was better than a Club 100 race over all the races in that we've called over the years. I've gone completely off track now. Yes, British Kart Championships, first Rotax round for their full championship season. PF International will be next weekend. The same weekend as Howard's mentioned, we've got cadets and juniors at GYG. Apologies, cadets and juniors, I will not be there, but you will have Jacob Harris in my place, who's far taller, far better looking, and far more lovely in a wonderful Welsh way. So they're very apt to have Jacob on board for GYG. The following weekend, returning to the FIA World, FIA Karting European Championships at Val d'Argenton. If you have got some time to go give Anthony Jordan and the team support for Champions of the Future, they're there this weekend. Unfortunately, I can't be there this weekend. Do give that a watch. Then again, we'll be there 2 weeks' time for the FIA round. And again, Howard will be in action at GYG for the seniors. Chris Zora will be joining us for that one, standing in for myself. Great to have Chris back as part of a DDMM commentary. And then the following week, to take us out to the end of April, I Am a Euro Series, myself and Anthony Jordan at Franciacorta. Great to be going back to Franciacorta. I haven't been there since the year 2020. And this time I won't have to deal with everything that happened in 2020. Very much looking forward to that. And if the finish of the Zwera meeting for I Am a Euro Series was anything to go by, that'll be pretty good as well. Last things, if you do want to get involved here on the Club 100 Sim Racing Championships, head across to the SimGrid page. Details should be down below, but a quick Google search of SimGrid and Club 100 Sim Racing will take to the page. give it a follow. In due course, we will get the events up there for the summer and for the autumn for the main championship as well, all to come, and potentially some other platforms as well. Some discussions need to be had. Right, I think I've covered everything, Howard. Any last words?
Well, two things. I'm going to be cheeky because you went all the way out to Franciacorta. I'm also going to mention that on that weekend, also, we've got Super 1 at Rara.
Oh, yes, sorry, we have as well. Sorry, yes, you've got 3 bits of work as well.
For anybody, which is probably nobody, following interesting stats, I reckon is a record for the longest distance, the widest net that DDMM has
ever covered. From point to
covered.
Point
to
you
point.
Might be right there.
And just thank you to everyone who supported this championship. I think gosh, we've enjoyed so many of these Club 100 iRacing seasons now, haven't we?
We have.
But as a sort of condensed package of entertainment, if you could just show me, can I watch 5 consecutive race meetings of Club 100 iRacinginess? These have been amazing. They really are right up there. This is by no means all that little, junior championship that sits below the club. This has been an incredible inaugural season of the BUKC iRacing Trophy, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this. And it's a real credit to the drivers how good the driving has been and how good the racing has been. Controversial moments this evening, made no mistake there, but it's been a lot of fun.
It has indeed, and we're going to wrap things up there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your messages of support. We will be back soon for more racing here on the DDMM channel. I might even do some iRacing of myself. You can all watch me and laugh at me as I try and tackle wet weather for the first time either tomorrow night or Friday. I'm out of voice, which is very rare for me. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you, Chris Hansen. I need to thank Chris Hansen because this championship was his idea. When we decided to move the main championship to September, we said we need something in its place. What about FF1600s? This was his idea. He's been working in the background as well on stewards and officiating, so big thanks to him. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And tune in for those commentaries as well across the course of the next few weeks. We'll see you next time here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and goodbye.